you.
Hi, witches.
Hi, witches.
Oh my gosh, why is it so dark? Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Let there be light.
It cleared up for us. The screen was very dark at first. Oh man, we're going over tarot cards tonight. Well,
Yeah.
actually more than tarot because we got oracle. We've got some just interesting ones. Yeah. I guess if they're not tarot, they're called
If you guys
oracle.
could see the table right now, we have
Do you want to count them?
2 dozen?
2, 4. This is 6, so 10, 11. I have 11 on my side.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have 21 decks. Oh, 22. I forgot about this guy because he's not in it.
He's not in his real
22.
case.
Oh, 22. I like that
Hey.
number. That's a good number.
22. We're also having a bit of homemade margarita that Kat made tonight. It's very delicious. We've never made margaritas at home before, and they're iced, not like the thing. What'd you get?
A lot of salt.
Shit.
I'm used to the bartender making mine.
Yeah, I usually make the drinks, but
the bartender at the bar or my daughter, the bartender.
oh, okay.
She's
I
really
didn't know what you meant.
she's really good at it. So I was like, I want to make drinks for you because you're always making drinks for me.
She did.
So I did the best I could. Okay, it looks like snow. There's so much.
She put a lot of salt on there. I'm gonna work around that slowly. Hi Tracy. Hi Selena.
Hi guys. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna just make an announcement really quick then. I know, or should we do it at the end?
No, I think we should do it at the beginning and the end.
Okay.
So
you get to hear this 2 times.
You get to hear this twice. If you missed it the first time, we'll cover it again.
Hi Linda.
Hi Brianna.
And Brianna at the same time. Oh my gosh, you saw one, I saw the other.
Linda.
We want to let you guys know that this is the last live until probably September.
After Labor Day. We want you to have the summer off with your family. There's going to be long days, beautiful nights, all that stuff, all those vacations. And we have work to do. We're going to launch Witch School.
Witch School will launch in August, and that's what we're going to be working on and getting ready with all of the stuff, so
we will be posting videos. We'll still be posting videos.
Yeah.
We just won't be holding lives on
just not lives
Thursday night because we really need to work. We've done a lot of the Witch School. We have a lot of it done, but you get like 85% done, and then you're like
the last 15%. You're just like, chug, 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 chug. I feel like the little engine who couldn't get up the hill.
It's really hard. There's just so many things that
little things
that you have to do. It's a ton of work. So anyway, so that's our announcement.
Yes.
This is our last live, but don't worry, we're going to post content and we're always here if you need anything.
Yep.
You can always reach out to us.
We read all your comments.
We read all
every
your comments.
Every comment. That's like a daily check.
Yep.
At least.
Every day.
Sometimes it's in the evening too, or something happens like, did you see this? Did you see the We have to call each other sometimes. All right. So the way that I grouped the cards tonight, since we have 22 decks of tarot and oracle cards to go through, I'm doing the ones that are by the same authors first, because I feel like that's kind of easiest. That way you're just learning like one name and it's 6 or 7 decks.
That's true.
And are you going to open my personal ones that I use first? Yeah.
Do you want to do it?
No. I was just saying if we want to start with you guys.
Our favorite.
Is it your favorite too?
I do love her. Yeah, I do love her cards.
My ultimate go-to and favorite is Kim Cran's. The 2 decks that I use of hers the most, Kat's going to show you. This was a gift from my mom 5 years ago. She didn't know what to get me for Christmas. And she bought me an oracle deck. I was like, I've never even had one. She goes, oh, do you like it? Is it okay? I was like, yeah. So once I got the animal spirit one, oh, you guys, it's the elements. If you look on the back, this kind of, it describes exactly what it is. There's spirit cards. There's earth cards, fire, air, water. So that is.
And they're all animals. So
they're all animals. And that is so up my alley. I mean, yeah.
Croc.
And it's the way that it's structured. And the reason why I like this is because the animals are listed from sort of this lower energy or, busy work. Like an ant is more busy, maybe. Is it? Oh, black egg. That's in the spirit cards. So you have.
Are they mixed together?
Of course they're mixed together. I use them. Like I shuffle them.
No, I mean, that's still part of the same deck, though.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's 5 elements, not just 4. It's spirit included. So like the cosmic egg. Oh, beautiful card.
Which is the one you get the most? Which is the one you get the most?
I actually, because of my Virgo rising, when I was doing my daily card pool for this deck specifically, when I first got it, I took a tally of what cards I got the most, and I always got fire the most. Tarantula was one of my most common cards I got. Yeah, tarantula. And tarantula is about a crossroads and being there and like knowing what's right for you, but doing it is kind of hard. So I just really connected to everything about this is basically oracle cards based on the elements. And I've never seen that before, really. And it's all animals, which totally connects to my sensitive. I like animals more than people most of the time. Anyways, my priorities are animals, plants, people. That's kind of how my life works, just sometimes. But that's how I feel the most comfortable, right? Animals, plants, and then I get myself out there and be around people. So this deck.
Did you say tarantula?
I did say tarantula.
Tarantula. Yeah, so that's
look at that
the
fire. And it used to confuse me all the time. I was like, why would I get fire? I'm a water sign. You know why? Because I needed to fucking transition. That's why. Because I was in a job that was really good. I loved it. I loved the people, everything, but it was not my calling. So the tarantula card and COVID helped me progress to where I'm at right now. I left my job and started on this journey instead. And I got him so many times. I was like, dang it, tarantula. Okay. So this is Kim Cran's The Animal Spirit deck. I love, love, love it. It was my first deck away from the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. Good to know. Like I used that for 20 years. I just didn't seek out.
You have like a super old deck that they don't even print anymore.
No, like the books and stuff. It's chewed up by several animals that I've had, and like it's pretty wild. But this was my first deck getting out of the Rider-Waite Tarot, and this is technically an oracle deck, I think, but I love it. If you like animals and you're into the elements and that really fits with your language, that's a great deck to get.
So also from the same.
So of course I got that deck. My mom gave me that deck. Then I got this deck for myself.
Wild Unknown.
The Wild Unknown Tarot.
I love this deck. This is when we get together, the three of us.
This is the deck we always use.
This is the deck we always use.
Yeah.
And it just really, it really resonates with us. So it's also got a lot of animal.
Well, it's family instead of trump cards. It's the family card, not trump. Court instead of regular court cards. Yeah, Linda, do you like it? Do you like that one? Because, I mean, it's my favorite. It is my go-to tarot deck. Like, I have no problems reading with it intuitively. I go back to the book sometimes. I love what she writes, and she doesn't use – a good thing to note about Kim Krantz for these two decks, there isn't a reverse card reading of it. She includes that in the description of the card. There's a little bit of both. It's like, oh, you could be questioning this. Here's what, this is what the card represents. Consider these options. And I really love it. Oh, good. Yeah. So when I travel, you guys, I've made videos, but I got the tiny one because carrying the big box with me and the big book, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to like downsize on my packing. So I love using the little one. I can actually carry it with me. Like when I go on trails and I went to some of the waterfalls in Scotland, I took this in my pocket, literally. And it says pocket tarot, doesn't it? I just realized that. It actually says pocket. And so I was able to carry it with me on hikes. And it's just, I mean, I don't know, compared to a cell phone, it might be a tiny bit heavier, and it's all protected. So I went around waterfalls, of course, if I had gotten wet or if it rained in Scotland, this was going to be fine. I loved it. I like the small one. So my number one favorite deck, my always go-to deck is this guy right here.
That's the one we always read from.
Always use. Yeah. For years and years now.
So next from Kim Krantz is Archetypes.
Archetypes. Now, I will say I love her artwork. If you look up Kim Krantz, she's an artist and she's really very imaginative and creative. And her story on how she got started on all of this is really cool. She basically manifested this and, didn't know what she was doing with her life.
Circle. How hard are these to shuffle?
No, you don't shuffle them.
Oh, you don't?
No.
You can't shuffle them?
This is one of those ones where you are like your 15-year-old self and you just spread them all over the bed because nobody taught you how to shuffle cards.
I would think that the shape of them would make them very hard to shuffle.
Yeah, I don't shuffle them. And honestly, for the book and everything, this is a really in-depth, if you are really needing specific, deep information, archetypes is where it's at. She has a blog to understand what archetypes really mean. For an example, when you get into like the people side of it, it's the poet, the maiden,
These are
the
archetypes.
hunter. Yeah. So this is an archetype of a persona that we can take on. It doesn't mean, it's not like calling out that that's one person and it has a name. It's like actors that we can be during our lives and what position we're playing right now. And so it is very deep. So if you are going through turbulent times or you're feeling very alone in the world, that's when I would turn to something like this, because it's going to give you so much information. You need to meditate on that for like 3 days. Like, you really need to think about it. It's just a lot of information. And that's why I don't use them that much, because I'm not in my turbulent stage anymore. It probably would have been really useful in my 20s. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty, I'm pretty married and settled, and like,
She's happy and
it's
sassy.
Happy and sassy. I think that is really good for people who are in really rough situations and need that. Like, if you wish you could go to a reader and you don't have one in your area, or they're just too expensive, getting a deck like that gives you these deeper insights. And I bought it just because I wanted it. A lot of these, we have all these decks, and how often do we use them?
Never.
I get them. I'm excited. I look through the whole thing. I read everything, and then I put them on my shelf, and I'm like, well, now I have you. You're mine forever.
So our last Kim Kranz deck, is
Alchemy.
This shape.
Yeah.
Have you used these?
I have not used Alchemy either.
So another one that you really can't shuffle because of the shape of them.
Yeah, it's even deeper.
It seems like there's a lot of writing on each. There's a lot in the description of each of those.
There is, but it's more like it's things out and above, like away from us. So where archetypes really goes through what we're experiencing as humans, the Alchemy book is really talking about like what's happening when we're souls not in a body, and how we are connected to these ethereal topics or subjects like planets and gods and goddesses within history. So that it's more like that, and it's beautiful. I love her artwork, so I tell myself I have to get it.
Yep,
like I collect books, I gotta have it.
You gotta have it.
And every once in a while, you get into them, and then when you have people over, also if people want to see it, they're like, "I want to look at that." I was like, "Yeah, take a look," and then they realize, "Well, I'm glad you had it, and I didn't have to buy
her
it."
Stuff is quality.
Oh, quality,
high quality packaging. This is magnetic, and her, like Jayme said, her artwork is beautiful.
Yeah.
Her descriptions, they're
she takes a lot of time with them.
They're on point. They're deep. They're deep.
Yeah. Very meaningful readings come from that.
Yeah.
That's what we always do our year ahead spread with.
Mm-hmm.
Is the unknown, the wild unknown.
And Kranz is Krans.
Yeah.
Kim Kranz.
Kim Kranz.
Krans.
I love her. All right, we're gonna go to our next set of. These are oracle cards.
This is Jayme not being able to stop herself from buying.
Are you ready?
A whole series of.
And I have.
She can't stop herself. And now I want them.
Well, now you get one, and then you're like, and I just wait till they're on sale on Amazon. I can't lie. I'm not going to buy them for $25 or $30.
Season of the Witch.
These are Season of the Witch cards. You may have seen them around or in ads or something, but they go with our 8 witches holidays, and there are no other cards like that. And I've told you guys before, one of the reasons I got into witchcraft is I love the honoring of the earth. I love connecting to the cycles of the earth. And these cards have, I want to say there's like 45 cards, and they're not necessarily prompts.
So look how pretty that is.
They're gorgeous. Each one has its own.
This is
red,
Letha.
Orange. Yeah,
so that's the season.
Midsummer. Mm-hmm.
And this is this purple on here. Oh my goodness! Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see that to appreciate how pretty that is.
Yeah, the Samhain is red. Oh my goodness! Look at that. Ooh.
So pretty. I want them all. So I'm gonna have to buy them.
They're just very neat, and they're it's super witchy. Just things that go with the holiday. And the way that I've used them is I have them out during the season, and then I draw cards from it when I'm feeling it. And I was like, okay, well, this is appropriate for the season, because that's how they wrote the cards. And then they did the little book that goes with it that talks about more. So the card actually has a small description on it. And then the book goes a little deeper into it. And it gives
What's the back of your card? Sorry. because
I'm falling all over the place.
The back of mine for Letha is.
Oh yeah, mine's like.
So they're different.
Yeah, each one's a little different.
So pretty.
They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. They're works of art. I mean, like I collect witch books. Collecting these guys, I love all of them. I think Beltane has. I love this picture so much. Like this was the first deck that I bought, and I just love the contrast here. It's so beautiful. And so she has a lot in there. And there's only 2 decks left to be published. One comes out in July, which I pre-ordered because I can't help myself. And then the last holiday that they don't have out yet is Astara. So we've got all the other holidays, and Astara, just waiting on that one. And I haven't even heard a release date. I was like, I love Astara. Why did that have to be the last holiday? They started with
Besides Midsummer, that's your favorite, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And well, Midsummer's when I got married, so I can't help myself. That's
Yeah.
Letha. So these are what I would use these cards for if you're interested, especially if you like to learn about the holiday. These are themes within the holiday, and then you can just draw a card. Maybe you just draw one until the season is done. Each holiday is about 6 weeks long. And you have cards that you can draw on and journal on, or it prompts you to do other things. Like I know with Beltane, I went through all of them. And the first one is like a bike ride. It's like just be out there and be one with nature. Like don't be in a hurry to get anywhere. Ride your bike like you're a kid. It's like we all need that thing to like slow us down sometimes.
Yeah, a reminder.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, I did my stack. What's yours? What's your next one?
Okay.
You can do it.
So I'm going to go
Like
with
or love.
I'm going to go with some ones that are out there.
Funny.
That are kind of out there. So this is Spicy Swift Tarot, and these are Tarot's Taylor Swift themed cards. I have not used these.
They were a gift to her.
They were a gift, but they're all like, I mean, I don't even know. Cups. What is this? 2 of Cups. So it says, that's it. That looks like what
does it
say? It says, I walked in expecting you'd be late.
But you got here early and you stand and wait. Not wave. Yeah. Stand and wait, I thought.
Stand and wave.
Oh, shit. I don't know the lyric that well.
Okay, so here's 3 of Cups, Marry Me, Juliet from her song, Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. So these are more like, I don't know.
This is like a drinking game or something.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, these are more like fun party cards where you can play a game with them. I probably would not use them for tarot just because they're not really, you'd have to know all the cards, like the 2 of Cups. You'd have to know the whole suit of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, because most cards, many of the tarot cards are based on the Rider-Waite-Smith. And so, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups.
So did that come with a book or anything?
No, I don't think so. It came just like this.
It's like they just printed Taylor Swift lyrics and some of her outfits on cards and then called it like 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups.
There you go. Yeah.
It was a gift when my mom became a Swiftie from a friend of hers. So.
Yeah. Okay. So here's one. This is, when you have to have the cards, you see them like on Facebook. So these are the gold cards. I saw the ad. I'm sorry.
What does that mean when you see them on Facebook?
Well, I think I saw them on Facebook, but these are called gold foil tarot. You guys can see that, I think. Gold foil tarot. So I was like, those are so pretty. I have to have them. You guys, they're so slippery. They're like made, so they are really pretty, as you can see, but they're not practical because they like slip and slide. They're made of, I don't know, like a weird material. They're like almost like a plastic or some kind of some weird material, and they slip and slide all over the place. So not really good. And they're a little bit hard. They're a little bit hard to.
I was seeing how slippery they were.
Hey,
it's not quite paper.
I didn't have to do anything.
Cards. Oh, you didn't?
No, I just.
Now I still feel like licking mine. It's just, they are this weird texture. It almost feels like if you were to bend this or crease it, it would stay stuck. Like not like paper where you could flatten it back out. This feels like a harder substance. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something, and I don't know what the material is, but it comes with a book. So your standard Rider-Waite-Smith book with color pictures, which I always love when they include color pictures and their little descriptions. But ever since I got it and I shuffled them, I'm like, well, these cards are just going to go all over the place.
They just
Like, so they're
like a card trick.
They're like not a card that I would probably use for deck, but I got them like, okay, so if anybody ever asks me, you know, or asks about them, or hear somebody talk about them, I'm like, well, here's my experience with them. Yes, they look really good, but they're not practical for me anyway, because of the texture of them, because they're slippery. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and they're a little bit hard to read because of the sheen.
The sheen
that's
on
what them.
I was looking at
they're
it.
like really, the colors were super saturated, and it's just really hard to, you know, get a good. It's just they're just not great pictures with all the gold and brightness and all that stuff.
I think what they are is more of a show card.
Yeah.
Right. Like you could, if you wanted to use props or you wanted to set it up somewhere, you wanted to have them out, like they could look really showy. But as far as an everyday use card, I think that's what you're really saying.
Yeah. So
she's
this
going
is
to tell you about
deck. This is a deck that I bought like probably 4 or 5, probably when I first got here, not long after I first came to Florida, almost 5 years ago, up at Elysian Fields. And I love this. It was so pretty. It came with a velvet bag. You know, you couldn't like open. I think there might have been a sample there for me to see it, but there was a velvet bag with it, which I'm like, ooh, a purple velvet bag. Love, 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 right? So then I get these cards and I open this deck. Guys, they're this big. Like I can't shuffle them. So they're not practical. And then when I look at the pictures, I'm like, they're not really that pretty. They're just, you know, Jayme's like, it looks like a quilt.
Well, it's like faded picture type stuff that sort of looks like quilt art. Just not very refined. It's like the smudgy type of art, which can be fine. It's everybody's preference, but as you can tell, Kat buys things on its level of beauty, and then she gets deeper into it and realizes it's either not practical or not as beautiful as she thought. She got sold on the outside of the package with this.
I did. I really did. I just thought it would be so pretty, and I didn't try to shuffle them, or I wouldn't have bought them. The one thing about these cards, though, is that they do have, like, instead of just your standard description, quick read, they also have like the dream, the awakening, and the enchantment. So like 3 different descriptions, I guess, depending on where you are. But I don't know. I'm actually looking to gift these to somebody. So
that's a good thing to mention. When we get card decks that we're really never going to use.
So if you're somebody that can handle like
I'm trying right now to
large cards like this, and you're interested in this, you can hit me up. And
but people do this thing.
I can't do that though.
I'm not coordinated. I'm like I'm just
so I want to gift
card shuffler.
I want to give these to somebody. Yeah. So if you guys
they are based off the Rider-Waite-Smith.
They are Rider-Waite-Smith. Yeah. They are.
The artwork's a little different, but it's based off that same.
It sure is.
Structure.
Okay, so those are like decks that ended up. Those are 3 decks that I have that ended up just being impractical for different reasons. Can't read them. Too big to shuffle, and then just kind of goofy, like more like a party favor.
All right, I'll go into my semi-impractical cards. They have a theme though. This is a herbology deck. Oh gosh, I forget. We're flipped in the camera. So when I'm over here, we're backwards to us. Herbal astrology. That's herbology. No. Herbal astrology. And I thought that is right up my alley. I love astrology. I love plants and herbs. I thought it would be like very much suited for me. And unfortunately, it's more like a deck that tells you about plants and then gives you some ideas of how to use it or what it connects to. But I mean, it's just like, here's one that says milk thistle. Peaceful warrior.
Oh, they're oracle cards.
Yeah, they're oracle. They're
not tarot.
Yeah, okay. I don't have any more tarot to show. All the rest of mine are oracle because they're interesting. And I guess I get them because of the theme of them. I think that I'll learn something. Like here's the card for Mandrake, which is just super interesting. These are plants that seem magical or they have shamanistic qualities that people use. We have angel trumpet growing outside of my house by Jerry. Yeah, this is poisonous AF. If you haven't seen the story where the 2 girls were using them as microphone and they got so incredibly high they had to be hospitalized for 3 days, that is what angel trumpet can do to you. And it's a beautiful flower, but you need to know what you're doing with it.
Look at those mushrooms. I like the mushrooms.
Psilocybin. I mean, so this would be one, shamanistic. And for the book, it just doesn't really give you anything to do with it. It's kind of like, here's the plant. So it doesn't seem like an oracle card as much to me as like, a way to possibly learn your herbs and your plants.
Might find some good things
That-
for
I mean,
your book
yeah,
of shadows
That's
and your
yeah.
grimoire.
You could draw these so that you could learn or be called to working with a certain plant for a while, or looking into it or drawing it or something. Oh yeah, this is a deck. I don't know if anybody ever subscribed to the subscription box service that was plants called Lunarly. It's been a couple years now. They went out of business. I liked them. They sent you witchy stuff and a plant every month, and I liked it. The candles, actually, it was 1 month was a plant, 1 month was a candle, and their candles were by far the best candles I've ever had, ever. Love them. So in one of their little subscription boxes, this deck came, and it's called Botanica, and it's cute. It's pretty. I don't know. It just says a tarot deck about the language of flowers by Jay Stanton, and beautiful artwork on it. The
It's
back
very
looks
close to your dress, the back of that. the color scheme, dark with flowers.
Yeah.
By the way, Linda, I think, complimented you on your dress.
Oh, thank
She's
you.
like, oh my gosh, your dress. I think it was Linda.
Oh,
Was
well.
it you, Linda? I remember singing it, and now it's gone.
So the back of them looks like they could be little postcards.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, well, maybe it's dual purpose. I don't know.
Maybe you're supposed to send them to people.
Maybe.
What does the
Oh,
book
no,
say?
right here. Wait, those are the postcards, and then here's the other cards.
Oh, you got it.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't touched these in 5 years. And that's it. And they have these little weird symbols on the bottom. I don't know what the hell they mean. So getting a deck like this meant that I had to learn 2 to 3 new languages or new facts, and it was just too much to put on myself. I love the artwork of it. It's beautiful. The cards are gorgeous, but I don't have a practical use for them. I still have them around because it's pretty. I don't know. I'm going with cat on that one. I got it with a subscription box, and I've just kept it, but I don't do anything with it.
Yep.
At all. Besides look at the pictures and go, oh, I could paint that. Like, there's my inspiration. The other one that I have that is the. Did I already go there? Okay. We're going to move on to one that seems crazy, but actually is very nice. I was gifted this by a friend, and she was like, I didn't connect with this. Maybe you will. So I gave her a book called Moonology, not the same author, but this is Moonology by Yasmin Boland. They're oracle cards, 44 cards. What I love about them, you guys, is that you can learn the moon cycles and phases and the astrology of like the new moon, the full moon. And this is things that we've been trying to put out so that how do we connect the energy of a full moon in Scorpio? Like, what are we doing with that? These cards are actually like that. So I cannot believe I just said that. And it is really the first card. The full moon in Scorpio says it's time to release negativity. So I put a Scorpio card at the top, but I didn't know it was going to be a full moon because it's for you. And then I did 2. So that's it. It's just, it has a little thing with it. It does have a book to give you prompts to do other stuff.
And we just had the full moon in Scorpio. Hello. Recently, right? Like
Taurus,
2 months ago?
Yeah.
Last month.
Yeah.
Taurus, yeah.
We had it in April. So the book is really nice for the energy of these zodiac moons. But on top of that, it also goes into just the actual moon. So here's just the full moon, and it says surrender to the divine. And here's a waxing moon. The energy is gaining momentum. So I feel like if you wanted to really learn moon energies, this is actually a really good deck to learn that, to practice with it.
Are they oracle cards?
It does say oracle cards, yeah.
Because the difference between oracle cards
and tarot
cards is like oracle cards are kind of like guidance, daily guidance. That's how I see them.
Yeah.
Every morning I used to pull 1 tarot card and 1 oracle card. I had an angel deck or something that I used.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I used to, and every morning I would pull those 2 cards, one from the tarot, to get a message like, what should I be focusing on today? What's my message for today? And I like that combination of an oracle card and a tarot card. I seem to get a lot out of those combos of those 2 messages.
Yeah. She needs more because she's a Scorpio and she needs to go deep. She's like, don't give me a surface level message. I don't know what to do with that. That's too vague. What I like about when you get a card is it'll actually say attune to the moon. And so this one that I just opened, it's the new moon in Leo. It says make time to have fun. So it'll give you a prompt. It's other ways to think about it. And then it tells you about the Leo sign. as far as a learning tool, that is what I consider this one to be, a learning tool. As far as an oracle to give you messages or to decide stuff, I find it hard to be relevant only because if you're pulling the Scorpio full moon when it's, the Cancer full moon, what do you do with it? Do you still do the actions? I don't know how you use it, but as a learning tool, really, really like this. And I got it from a friend. I have no idea how much it costs or anything. I'm sure it's not much, but that one. Now, the same thing applies for me when I want to learn something. I actually buy a deck that will have stories in it. So when I was going to Scotland, I bought this Viking Oracle deck so that I could learn some of the historical stories. Maybe that's not right. The myths and stories and legends of northern Scotland, because they had a heavy Norse influence. The Vikings came down and all of that, and so there's a mix there. There's really a mix. And so I bought this specific.
Oh, those have runes. That's a rune.
Oh, it is. Yeah. And it's a rune mixed with a character, and it tells you about it. So you can learn the runes at the same time as you learn like one of the figures that they praise, like Freya. So I loved it. I was like,
that's cattle and wealth, but wealth and prosperity. That's what the
cattle and wealth.
Cattle and wealth. Yeah,
cattle and wealth.
Yeah, because that's the one I like always. I just put that in my concrete. I'll put it on my wrist.
We drew on our faces.
Yeah, we
too.
drew on our faces. Yeah, that's the one. It's the F that goes like this. It looks like an F, but the lines for the F are pointing up.
Yeah.
You guys, it doesn't show. Oh, it does show.
It does show
down
it.
there.
The rune is down there.
Yeah. So you can see.
Again, this is one I bought specifically as a learning tool. I still really like it. I actually have it in my area where I sit in the morning and have coffee.
Kind of a cool dude. What is that?
Okay, that's me. I don't know that. It's just, they're neat. And so what I have to do, you guys, because I don't know how to say the rune names, I actually go on YouTube and I'm like, how do you say this? And then I have somebody who knows how to say it for me, and I practice it that way, because I would like to be able to say all the runes and not feel like I sound
You can
ridiculous.
Also do Google has a thing that's like pronounce it.
Yeah.
And then you can speak it back to Google and it will say it'll tell you if you're pronouncing it right.
So here's an example of one that is not with a rune, and it's Odin. So a very important figure. He's the one that actually hung in the tree, which I cannot say, and received by the loss of his eye the knowledge of the runes. That is a very quick and possibly not solely accurate story, but it's like that. That's the gist of it.
I like those.
I really like them. There's Valkyries, which
But how do you use them other than for learning? Would you have another way to use them?
I'm sure you could, like pulling them for people.
What does the book say?
Solving problems.
How does the book say to use them, or does it? Let me just see. I'm just looking. You haven't done that yet, have you? But they do have spreads.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to learn a different part of it, but
they're learning.
It's something that I'll keep, and maybe I'll get better with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that it was. So some runes are no and some are yes or something like that. And so when you do things, it's like 2 yeses is a yes and 2 no's is a no out of the 3 cards.
A couple of their spreads. One of them is a Pantheon technique. I'm not going to go into that. 1 card divination, sacred 3 card draw, a 9 worlds draw.
So then that's where you learn about what they believe, because you're getting into these other things.
Thor's hammer draw, past, present, future, which is pretty much like any tarot, and then a rune only spread.
Right.
So that's what the book will. That's the instructions, basic instructions from the book.
I was going to say the deck is set up to where you have all the runes and then you have characters after that. So it's kind of like the Rider-Waite-Smith, where you have the working cards and then you have these like archetype sort of cards, or these bigger ideas. All right. And since I can't stop at one deck to try to teach me stuff,
she can't resist.
I got a Celtic deck, because also that's there. And
these are oracle cards.
Yeah. All the rest of these are oracle. This is my last one that I have to show. But for these cards, I was less than enchanted with them. There are not very many. I don't know. You look at the book. It is not like a full
Celtic
set.
astrology is what it is.
Yeah, it's not like a full set. Again, I was trying to learn stuff. But what this does go through is the 12 sacred trees, some of the characters, some animals, but it's really it wasn't enough for me. I would say this deck just fell short because it didn't give me enough, I guess. That's probably the best way to say it. And I bought this from a metaphysical store, so I overpaid for it 1,000%. Also not fun to learn when you open it up and you're like, what? Half of this is foam? There's like, it doesn't even fill the box? What the hell? You live and you learn.
Yeah.
I'm supporting a business. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm not getting anything from the book. It's like words I can't even say, things I can't pronounce.
Well, that's okay because you can look like.
Oh no,
online.
That's in a whole other. Now, how am I supposed to? That's in a different language.
No. Yeah. So the book is in like 3 languages. Okay, so this gives you an idea, right? Here's the book for the cards, and this is in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and French. So only like this much of it, 1/3 of this is actually the book that you're using. So it's just very small. That's why it was underwhelming. That's it. My Celtic. I love the Celtic history.
There might be 25 cards in here. I'm to 15, and I've got this much left. So not very many cards, but
yeah, 13.
We got Birch the Archer.
Yeah, there might be 25.
Yeah,
because there's the 12 of the tree, and then there's animals. Okay, just not what I was expecting.
This is what happens. Sometimes you just have to buy a deck and try it out and then find out like, well, I guess I'm going to keep it until somebody comes along that I want to gift it to that can really use it.
Or you watch things like this and you learn what not to buy.
So I have
how it's not useful.
I have 3 more decks to share with you. One is called the Good Tarot. I think I just bought this. I don't think I've even used it yet. Oh, I have a crease in the book. Maybe I did. I can't remember right now.
It's pretty and it sat on her shelf.
It's they're nice thick cards. It's pretty and they follow the same they follow, they got 8. Well, they say 8 of air, so that would be 8
the elements.
Yeah, 8 of wands. So it would be wands. And then 2 of fire.
Swords. Remember,
two of fire would be which one on the tarot? I'm losing my tarot right now. I'm done it for a while. Sorry, I'm giving it away. I have not pulled out my tarot deck in about 3 months because last summer we spent our whole summer on tarot. So this is a nice thick deck, and it follows the
Rider-Waite-Smith.
I like the imagery on it. It's pretty. It's like out there, but they do name them differently. Although I think like this is Messenger of Fire.
So that would be one of the court cards.
Yeah, one of the court cards, and then you have Strength, which looks very much like the Rider-Waite with she's trying to tame taming the lion in the Rider-Waite on the Strength card.
So what it is their court cards go page, and then Messenger, which is what that card is.
That is what the Knight is.
Yeah.
The Knight is the messenger.
Then Queen and King. So that's the only one that really changes.
So there's the Chariot. So they're pretty and they're nice and thick. So I like this deck. It's but I haven't used it, so that's the honest truth.
I would find this deck almost too thick because it's such quality hardstock cards, right? It's meant to live a long life, whereas the thinner cards, some of my thinner cards, man, I always know that that's going to be the card because it's got a certain crease in it that happened 3 years ago, and I was like, that's the fucking card. I know that card. I'm not going to pull that card if I've got them like laying out. I'm like, I already know that one. It's distinctive.
You bent it, so you know it
by accident, or coffee stains or something.
Yeah.
But these become where, depending on how long your fingers are, I think I have pretty average hands, but getting the whole deck in between all the fingers to be able to. Oh, and they're thick, so it's very hard to shuffle them. You need to do finger yoga for that. You can do some stretches.
So this is by Colette Baron Reed, in case you're interested in that, and it's called
It's pretty
Good Tarot, and it is the good tarot.
I think that the
versus the bad tarot.
I think the images are sort of electronic pictures made together. It's not like sketch art. It's not drawings. It's not paintings. Don't you think that's like a digital picture made?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's what the pictures look like.
10 of fire.
So. Like it's a real person, and then they put other things around the picture. They kind of made it.
Reminds me of Canva.
10 of air.
Yeah. Things together in Canva.
Oh, yeah, Canva. Yeah. It's where we create stuff.
So they're pretty.
Yeah, they're nice. They're pretty. They're thick. They last a while. Hard to manage if you like to do what do we? I call it the bridge. I'm sure that that's not the real name for it, but because you make a bridge with them. If you like that style of shuffling, those are a little thick and kind of hard to do. Lastly,
so not last,
Oh,
next
not
to
lastly.
last. So I got these as a gift, I think for my birthday, maybe my daughter-in-law got them for me, and I actually love the Lightseer cards. These are so pretty, and I know they got full-size deck, and they're based exactly on the Rider-Waite Smith, so they look just like that. You know, 8 of Pentacles, but they're sort of like a modern take on that. So that's 8 of Pentacles. You're not in a garden or whatever that is, but I really like this deck, even though it's tiny. It's great for, but I love the imagery on it, and I personally like a deck that kind of follows the Rider-Waite, because some of those cards I know, like the 3 of Hearts, and you know.
Yeah, you don't have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't have to look it up. So because that's the deck that I probably know the best, and so many decks are based on Rider-Waite. So
I don't want to say it's the original, but it's the original modern.
So this is 5 of Cups.
All right. Well, can I tell you something terrible? Because I know you and Jolene both love that deck, and I know
the Lightseer.
Yeah, I know a lot of.
Anybody have Lightseer?
I know a lot of witches who really like it.
Okay.
And Linda says that the Good Tarot has beautiful pictures. Yeah,
she knows that one. Okay.
I do not like the Lightseer deck.
Why?
Oh my God! I know. Shh! Don't disown me. Hear me out.
All right, I won't. I'm listening.
What becomes a struggle for me is when the card. This is why Biddy Tarot. I loved Biddy Tarot, but when you really go in and like look at her site and read stuff. 3 pages of an explanation for a card is like, it's completely overwhelming to your situation.
Yeah.
It's breaking it down into 5 angles or something. And you're like, I was doing this so I could find an answer, not find 5 answers and be confused about all of those. And how many more cards do I have to draw before I like feel like I got the answer, you know? I
have the Biddy Tarot book, and there will be per card a description for relationships, career.
Yeah.
There's like 5, like you said, 5 different areas of your life that card, and it just
becomes overwhelming.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's just too much information.
It's too much information. So I don't find those as accessible.
I took my Biddy Tarot card little deck that I had like this, and I used it for a Halloween costume, or a Samhain costume for the Witch's Ride.
Yeah, the Witch's Ride in Delray.
Okay. Last but definitely not least, my favorite, I'm just going to say it right now.
It is your favorite deck?
It is my favorite deck. So this is Rider-Waite, and this is the Radiant. So you got Rider-Waite, the plain ones. Where's yours? You don't have it with you?
I didn't bring those. I know you have like 2 different kinds of them.
So I really like the color, the vibrant colors of Rider-Waite.
Because it's called Radiant, yeah.
And what I like about Rider-Waite is they're so consistent from one deck to the next. Even if they're different colors or whatever, you know, if they're the Radiant ones or this one or that one, they're consistent. So it makes them easy to learn.
Consistent with messages, consistent with pictures?
Yeah, no, I don't know about pictures, but consistent with the message. So the 3 of Cups always means the same thing in whatever Rider-Waite deck that you find. And I find that it makes it easier to learn a tarot when you can get a deck, when you can work with decks that you're not like, you can look at the card and go like, that's the 3 of Cups, that's the 3 of Hearts,
you've memorized
the 3
you have
of
experience
3 of Swords. Yeah. So I find it easy. So besides this deck, and again, I love this for the vibrant colors of it, because the original deck is kind of like plain, you know.
They didn't have a lot of colors back then.
It's kind of plain and a little bit boring. So I have that deck too. But I just like the vibrant colors in these. I think they make me happy.
All right. So side by side, my favorite deck, which is not the mini, it's actually the big
this
one,
is my first favorite deck, but then this was
we don't get to second. No.
Why not?
No. We're just favorite decks.
Okay.
Hold true to your deck. Hold on. I gotta get
favorite deck for my personal reading.
Yeah.
Is this.
Is it really?
It is. Yep.
Personal favorite for everything that I do. Whether I read for other people, myself, my mom, my sister, doesn't matter. My dog, my cat, like it's gonna be this deck because I'm so in tune with it that I don't have another reason.
Yeah. So if you guys get this deck, so I want to share with you.
What?
Who's got a favorite? I've already mentioned.
Yeah, do you guys want to list your favorites?
Yeah.
Are they any that we talk? And it could be Oracle or Tarot, but like, what do you have experience with that it truly aligns with you? Or do you feel like you need to go back and forth between some of the decks?
Well, so here's, so I've mentioned 3 of Cups and 3 of Swords, I think. But 3 of Cups, I know I've mentioned that. So I want to read you the description from this. This is harder to learn. The reason why I love this deck, I think it's beautiful. The messages are really on point, but I'm never going to be able to memorize it because none of the descriptions are with like kind of a standard tarot deck. So this is the 3 of Cups. It's very short. I'm just going to read it to you really quick.
But you've been talking about 3 of Hearts.
I'm sorry.
I mean, 3 of Swords.
I'm sorry. 3. I mentioned Cups too.
I know.
Okay. I'll go to Swords.
I'll go to after.
I'm sorry.
You're okay.
You know this better than me. Good.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Swords. 3 of Swords. So I think everybody knows in the Rider-Waite Smith deck, the 3 of Swords is the heart with the three swords through it. So
the dreaded card.
Oh
man, it was right at the front.
Yeah. So here's the difference, and you may or may not know what this is, but it's basically like heartbreak or something like that. But here, the short description for this is betrayal, heartbreak, and turmoil. Here's the long description of it. A dark and complex card, the 3 of Swords, is rarely a welcome sight. Its wrath may come in the form of lies, betrayal, cheating, or heartbreak. There will be emotional entanglement and confusion. Do not try to make any decisions while in this state. Wait for your heart and spirit to mend. So the Kim Kranz card for the Wild Unknown. Wait, I'm shaking the wrong one. Jeez Louise. Backwards picture. The Kim Kranz one, the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot one. And you can see they're similar. But yeah, I think the way that Kim Kranz tries to take the message to a place of, you get a card that's like heartbreak, turmoil, leave here now, nothing for you. What the fuck do you do with that? How about something like, can I get the next sentence? What is after that? And I think that's what her book really does, because she does not do the upside down stuff. She puts them both together. And I do like that. I don't ever read reverse cards because it's too much of it's like too much. Yeah. I don't need to have reverse. I think that when you read cards, if you can surmise, like, if this card is all about heartbreak, what do we know about heartbreak? What are you going to tell the person that you're reading for not to do? You're in a heartbreak. You're in a bad situation right now. Be calm. Stay calm. Don't do anything rash. Don't make big decisions. That's what the card says. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense for me, because otherwise you're just dwelling on like the one fact of, this is a heartbreak card. Yeah. I mean, really, like you're definitely getting your heart's getting like ripped to pieces, basically. And there's another person. There's 3 people involved. Yeah, I was gonna say a love triangle. There's 3 people involved in this heartbreak. So yeah. So that jinx. Yeah. So that's it. Those are 20 all the decks. That's 22 decks. 22 decks of tarot cards. Well, and Oracle. Tarot. That's a new word, tarot. This is what it makes tarot and oracle. It's tarot. And if you pull 2 cards a day from one oracle deck and a tarot deck, then it's your tarot. It's your reading. Your daily tarot. Tarot reading. All right. So should we look at our comments? Let's read our comments. Oh my gosh, you guys. So while Jamie's looking through the comments, she's gonna comment back on that. Yes. I just want to say, I hope that if you guys are watching this and you guys are here with us right now, you get something out of this. If you have any of these decks, you have a comment about them, we'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on them? Do you have any of these? Have you used them? Do you love them? Or what deck do you love? What deck do you always use? Well, and Dawn says, I love I'm gonna butcher this, Dawn. Ciro Marchetti. I don't know that. I don't know that one either. Can you tell us about that a little bit? Yeah. One of the podcasts. And then Selena says, they go into the season of the witch card. Because it's the seasons. I just love that so much. You love the seasons. I do love the seasons. Like, if I had to strip everything else away from my practice, I would just be all in for the seasons. It's where I connect. That's my whole thing. Sometimes they show the 2 best cards, then the rest are me. Right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Some shuffling advice from Tracy. Shuffle the corners instead of the whole card.
When I see you in Boston, you're gonna have to tell me about that.
Hey, Tank.
Somebody ran by the house.
Tank. No.
We're okay. It's okay, puppies.
Sorry. My dog's he's guarding
The
us.
audacity of somebody exercising in front of the house. Jeez. Don't they know?
All right. The Good Tarot has beautiful pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh. A favorite oracle deck called Healing with the Fairies.
Oh,
okay.
I like the sound of that.
Holy crap. That's funny. I was just talking to a friend today about angels and how, like, I don't really vibe with angels that much. It's never really been my thing. So a lot of people like to talk, your angels, your guardian angel. Because angel has such a strong connection to Christianity or religion in general for me, I'm like, can I get a fairy
I did
that I
not
can
raise my
follow?
kids with religion. I kept them away from religion as much as I could.
Well, I was like, I'm
Because
more
it was
like a
forced
fairy.
down my
Where's
throat.
where's the book of like fairies, people that are watching out for us? Like, much rather have that. So I love that Tracy has a deck called Healing with the Fairies. I'll have to look that one up. The Wild Mystic Oracle. Okay, it's hands down your fave. Can we? This should come up after we. I was like, should we write this down? I'm not going to remember.
Are we going to see this?
We should. I have it set up for that.
Okay, good.
I do my best
because I want to look these up. Thank you for the suggestions.
Yes,
everyone who's made.
Because we don't have enough. Like 22 is not
definitely
enough. No, we have so many more we could explore, but you just don't ever know where to start.
Yeah,
and yeah. Oh, it's by Doreen Virtues. She's the one book that I.
Oh, Doreen.
Yeah, she's the book that I learned about the Archangel Ariel, which I didn't know there was I didn't know there was an Ariel angel. That's pretty cool. Or it could be called Orcalat. There you go, Linda. Yes, we're gonna start a new fad where we're reading both sets of cards, and then that's what we're just gonna come up with our words. Start a group for it.
Or I can't say.
We're dyslexic as hell. We need more time, and it's pressure because we're on video now. Oh my god. He's retired to Florida.
Gilded Tarot.
Who's retired to Florida?
Dawn. Who's retired to Florida?
Gilded Tarot is my favorite.
Gilded Tarot. I don't know that.
Gilded. I've heard Gilded Tarot.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one deck? No, that was actually one of the old ones, wasn't it? It was the I was gonna say Medici, but that's not the right old person name from the 1400s. That replica deck.
Wait, we have a brand. You didn't bring that deck.
No, I left it with you. Didn't I? Listen, we don't need to break out another one, but
oh my god, we have another tarot deck here. Do you guys want us to pull it out?
No,
it's the old original deck
that tarot was built off.
Yeah, that tarot was built off of. That didn't have the 78 cards yet, did it?
No,
it didn't have.
The structure was way different. Yeah. You can see some of the.
So it's like 400 years, 400 years ago when it was a card game.
Yeah. When it was a chance, it was like,
and they're really
fate and all that.
They're really ugly. They had, they're actually kind of ugly because those cards had just instead of pictures, they just had like 12 diamonds on them or 8 diamonds on them. Remember that? Mm-hmm. I mean, there was no like pictures. There was no graphics.
Because it coincided with playing cards.
It was a card game.
Yeah, it's playing cards. A
but
game of
that
fate.
Turned into tarot. It's Tarachi or something like that.
Sure.
Tarachi.
I don't know. So Dawn was saying
correct me.
Marchetti.
Or laugh at me. Marchetti.
Okay. So we have a couple that we're going to look up after this.
Okay.
Because we're going to look at the comments afterwards also in this post. But we love you guys so much.
We're going to miss you.
We're going to be working on great things.
We are.
I hope you guys all have an amazing summer. And remember, we're still available on the platforms and stuff. It's just not a live conversation now.
Well, another thing is because we want to put out content over the summer, just not have to be committed to
live.
Not have to be committed every Thursday night because we have so much to do. But if you have things that you hear about in the witch community that you'd like us to talk about, I'm always looking for things like what is happening in the witch community right now that people are talking about. I'm looking for that to see what's the conversation because I want to have I always have something to say about it. We always have something to say about it. So if there's anything you would like us to talk about, if you hear about something like, what about this? I heard this thing. What are you guys' thoughts on it? We'll look into it. We're going to do some just videos and post videos of us
Tuesdays
kind of like
videos,
like talking about something.
That and shorts. I have 2 that I haven't done yet, and it's Cord cutting. I already have a plan for doing an explanation and a show, like a show and tell kind of for cord cutting. And then also, what is up with people wanting to curse other people and all of that? Like, I have that one in the works too.
There's so much of that.
Kat is always telling me about how these people come in and they just want to do all this negative shit. And like, that's all they really want from this practice.
Well,
and it's just not.
I follow one of the groups that I'm in. All of a sudden in the last 2 or 3 months, it seems like everybody that's posting is like, I need a spell to make this person feel what I feel, or I need to make their life miserable. I want to rip their heart out like they ripped my heart out, and just, I need a spell for that. And I'm like, wow. So she's got a video of that, and I got all kinds of thoughts about that. So I might be doing my own video about it.
We could do one together.
We could do one together.
Right now, I've just done them by myself, but
because it worries me to hear new witches, and the witches groups talking about going after people for revenge and doing bad things, because it worries me for the witch community, because we already have to work fighting we already have to fight the battle of like, we're not good people, we're out to do control
like
people,
harm people,
hex
and
people and stuff like that. So then you have these new witches coming in and be like, I just need to get revenge. My ex, or he screwed me over so bad, I just want to fuck his life up, and I don't believe that's what we're here for. I believe we're here to elevate beyond that, to like let that go and grow from it. And it's hard. I'm not saying that it's not hard, but anyway, it worries me to see that so much of that conversation going on, because there's a lot of crazy shit in the world. And if people get wind of like, we're trying to hex people and control them and do these bad things, it's not good for any of us. We don't want to have to go back into the broom closet hiding our practice, and all of a sudden be scared because people are like burning witches again and shit like that, or threatening to. So anyway, that was off topic, but that was
Linda did ask me a question.
Okay,
I can segue. Linda asked, how do we decide which cards we're going to use on a given day?
Good question.
I have my go-to, Linda. Honestly, I always this is my deck for readings. The animal spirits is my deck for directions. Like, am I on my right path? Am I like, what is the energy around this? Because it uses elements, and I'm trying to, do I have too much water? Am I too much in my head, too much air? Am I focused too much on my surroundings, too much earth? And then fire, am I just moving around a bunch but not getting anything done? So those elemental cards really help me focus my energy. Whereas when I am looking at reflections, the tarot cards, which this deck, of course, is my favorite, is how I do my reflections on stuff, or get deeper into thought on it.
So for me, the way that I approach it is I usually use a deck for 2 or 3 months. Like this one I was using for a while. I was pulling a card every day. I was keeping, and then I'll
get familiar.
And and I'm just kind of seeing what comes out, what kind of message I'm getting. And then I'll not do any tarot for 3 months, and then I'll pick up another deck like this one or another one, and I'll start pulling tarot cards again. So I don't do it all the time. I go through phases where I'm pulling a card every day, because at that point in time, I feel like I'm needing a message from the universe, and that's how I approach it. So if I'm not needing messages from the universe, I'm not pulling tarot cards every day, because I just I don't have a need for it.
Yeah.
So, and I just pick what draws me to it
that day.
Do
you keep all yours together in one spot?
My tarot cards,
tarot and oracle.
Yeah,
mine are in 5 different rooms. So honestly, it's like, which room do I walk into and what?
You have a bigger house than I do.
Oh, stop. Which I can fill with more tarot decks now. So
which you can, yeah.
So the other thing I love, Linda also decided or commented for a topic for a thing. Can you be Christian and a witch? Are you able to handle something like that? Because she has such a
I have really strong feelings about religion. I was raised Catholic. But that doesn't mean that
they're all that way.
No, I know that.
And if they're Christian and they want to practice witchcraft, like I've read about a lot of people.
There are Christian witches.
I've not read about a lot of people. I've read Christian witches' comments and things, and how they practice and how they choose. And I'm like, wow, I've never met one in person.
I think the crazy thing about Christianity and witchcraft, if you look at the practices, so I'm just going to share with you Catholic practices. So I would go to church, there would be a communion, there would be the priest at the altar. He would be at an altar. Yeah. He would be mixing wine. He would have candles. He would do all these things. How witchy is that? I mean, come on, hello.
Besides the silence and the fucking hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think
there's
that's a good,
reference
but
for
I do
something.
think that's a good topic of discussion. And I do have a lot of things to say, or a lot of things that I think about religion these days. And in fact, there's been some things in the news that I've kind of wanted to either blog about or write about or something, just to say, beware witches, kind of like know about this and beware of it. So
I heard an awesome little homemade song by a girl on Instagram, probably. And I don't know what her title was. And if I find it, I will repost it to like our pages or something. But she's talking to her mom and she goes, "Sorry, Mom, I'm a pagan." That's like the beginning of the thing. And then the ending of the song, or the chorus line, I guess, is everyone is going to hell in somebody else's religion. That is fucking facts. Everybody's going to hell in somebody else's religion, right? Like, because everybody thinks that their ways are right, then they're like, you're not, whatever they call people. I don't think anybody's going anywhere. I think we're all going to the same place. I don't think anybody's going anywhere else.
I don't believe there is a hell.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that. I used to, I used to be afraid of it.
It's very interesting.
In fact, I spent a lot of time reading the book of Revelations and scared myself to death when I was like in my teens.
That's the first book I tried to read.
This is when I was like forced to go to church, and I was just fascinated by it. And it was like all these terrible things were going to happen. And I couldn't keep myself from reading it. It was like, so anyway.
Brianna, I'm going to tell Kat your idea that we talked about at lunch. She doesn't know yet. Remind me, I will forget. I called her today and I was like, "Oh, I called you for a purpose." And I tell her these other things. And I was like, I forgot what I called you for now. So then when I remembered it 3 hours later when I'm at her house, I was like, "Oh, I know why I called you today." She goes, "Yeah, no, but you told me that on the phone." I'm like, so I forgot what I called for, but told you it anyways and forgot that that's what I was calling for. Like,
is there something else though?
Yes.
Oh, there is another thing.
Yes. Brianna's idea. Just remember that. Keep that in your head.
All right.
Brianna's idea. Which I'm not going to share because she didn't, there wasn't an open discussion about what could happen, but I love it.
Okay. All right, you guys, we're at 1:01 now.
Oh,
1 hour, 1 minute. So we better let you go. Get back to your evening. We're going to miss you.
We're going to miss you guys. We love you. We can't wait to see you.
Yeah.
It's always, like,
hey, Tracy, my family's there may be a family reunion, my side of the family, June 23rd in Boston. So you got a spare bedroom. I can sleep in for the weekend. Hit me up.
I told her Connor's room. I was like, Connor will be home. Maybe she can stay. But,
I don't know if I'm going. I'm waiting to get details on it. Like Boston. And Jayme can't go because it's her anniversary.
My anniversary's on the 22nd. Yeah. So I would not leave my husband on that day.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys.
We love you guys. All right, we're procrastinating getting off here because we know it's going to be like several months, but
we're so sad.
Get a hold of us if you need us. We're here. We're just working in the background. Yeah, but we're here.
We're working. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye, witches. He's over here.